Ever get that feeling where, someone's explaining something and it just clicks? You're not just hearing it, you're really getting it, like at a deeper level.
Yeah.
And that's what we're digging into today. How to make learning really engaging.
hmm
So, like, imagine you're trying to get your team on board with this new project.
Right.
Or maybe, you're prepping to present a new idea to your boss.
Yeah. You want them excited, right? You want
Right.
them engaged.
Absolutely.
Well, it turns out educators are tackling this challenge every single day.
It's true.
And we've gotten a glimpse into, like, their playbook.
Yeah.
So we're diving into this research paper. It's by Antonio Benitez Garcia. And get this.
Brainstorming these ideas. Because maybe what I think is not exactly what you think, especially because you're from different schools sometimes, right? Your friends are from chips, supply chain, robotics. So maybe you have a different mindset into looking at the problem.
He actually spent time in an entrepreneurship hub in China, observing classrooms.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about a hands-on approach.
That's amazing.
Right.
So he uncovered some really interesting insights.
He did. One of the big things, and I think we can all relate to this, is that it's not just about, like, what you teach, but how you teach it.
Totally. Like, I'm thinking back to, like, even in school,
Yeah.
Some teachers could make, like, the most complex topics so interesting.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
others, not so much.
Exactly. And, Garcia found that a crucial element of this is really understanding the student's perspective.
Okay.
So, like, what motivates them?
Yeah.
What are their learning styles? It's about tapping into that intrinsic motivation.
Yeah.
The drive that makes someone want to learn just for the sake of learning.
It's like that, what is it called? The self-determination theory, I think.
Yes.
It basically says that people are way more engaged when they feel intrinsically motivated, right?
Exactly. It's not about, like you said, the grade at the end. It's the internal satisfaction of, I understand something new.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that aha moment.
It's like, think about a time you were completely absorbed in learning something new. Like, was it the subject itself, or was it something about the way it was presented?
That's a good question.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now get this. Garcia actually experimented with using podcasts in the classroom.
Oh, wow.
And not just any podcasts.
Okay.
Business and entrepreneurship podcasts.
Interesting. So, like, how did that go?
Well, that's the fascinating part. He saw a huge increase in engagement.
Really?
Yeah. Students were choosing to listen to these podcasts in their free time.
Voluntarily.
I know, it's kind of amazing. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think podcasts kind of have this this unique blend of, like, education and entertainment. It feels personal, relatable, like you're listening to a conversation
Right.
rather than a lecture.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, the fact that it was business focused probably provided that real world connection,
Right.
offering, like, tangible examples of the concepts they were learning.
Yeah. So instead of just reading about entrepreneurship in a textbook, they're hearing from actual entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
I can see why that would be so much more engaging. It's like you're, getting a glimpse into the minds of successful entrepreneurs, hearing their stories and, like, the challenges they faced, their aha moments.
Yeah, it is. And what's interesting is that this approach, using podcasts, it might resonate more with certain learning styles.
Right.
Garcia observed that students from different disciplines had, like, varying preferences
Yeah.
when it came to how they best absorb information.
Totally. Like some people, it's all about learning by doing. Right.
Right.
And others are like visual learners.
Exactly. Some students thrived in, like, those traditional lecture-based settings,
Right.
while others, they craved those real-world examples. Like,
Yeah.
how does this actually apply?
Yeah.
And it highlights something I think pretty crucial for, for educators and really anyone who's trying to communicate an idea effectively.
For sure. So, like, knowing your audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Precisely. Knowing your audience is so important, but it's also recognizing that, like, one size doesn't fit all, right?
Yeah.
Just like Garcia found with the learning styles, we encounter this in everyday life too. Like, think about how you prefer to, receive information.
Yeah.
Do you like to, like, dive deep into, like, a well-researched article, or do you kind of gravitate towards a quick video summary?
Yeah, totally. Like, personally, I'm much more of a hands-on learner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, give me a project, I'll figure it out as I go.
Yeah.
But I know people who really have to understand the theory behind it before they can even, like pick up a tool.
Right, right. And that's why I think Garcia's emphasis on triggers is really fascinating.
Right.
Because regardless of, your learning style, he found that these little nudges, these like sparks of curiosity, they are so essential for deep engagement.
It's like in a presentation or something when the speaker says something and it just like totally grabs your attention.
Exactly, exactly. Like he gives this example when he was at the entrepreneurship hub, he was observing, and there was this one group, they were really struggling to kind of grasp this financial concept.
Yeah.
And instead of, just explaining it again, the instructor presented them with this like real world case study of a local business that was facing a similar challenge. And it was like suddenly the concept just clicked for them because it was grounded in this relatable context.
Totally. Because you're not just memorizing a formula. You're like, oh, that's how it actually plays out.
Exactly, exactly. And he found that these triggers could take so many forms,
Yeah.
A provocative question, an unexpected statistic,
Right.
even like a little bit of humor strategically placed can make all the difference.
It's like, that saying like, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn.
Oh, yeah.
This research really like proves that,
Absolutely. And what I think it really highlights is that effective communication, whether you're in a classroom or even a boardroom, it goes beyond just like giving information.
Right.
It's about creating an environment where people feel, seen, heard, and empowered to actually like participate.
That reminds me of like, work meetings and stuff, right?
Right.
Look, the most productive ones I've been in are always the ones where like everyone feels like they can just throw out ideas,
Right.
even if it's like out there.
Exactly. That sense of safety, that feeling of, being respected, valued. That's something that Garcia emphasizes a lot in his research. He found that like when students felt like it was okay to take risks, ask questions, even make mistakes, that's when their engagement and learning really like took off.
Yeah. Like it's almost like that fear of judgment just disappears.
Yeah.
And then you're free to like actually think about it and explore it more.
Precisely. And honestly, I think that applies to so many areas of life.
Oh, for sure.
Would you agree? Think about a time when you were like trying to explain something to a friend or a colleague, and they just seemed, I don't know, kind of hesitant to engage.
Yeah.
What could have changed that dynamic? What could have made them feel more, I don't know, comfortable like jumping into the conversation?
It's interesting to like think about it that way.
Yeah.
I think for me, when someone says stuff with that, like I know everything kind of vibe,
Yeah.
I'm less likely to like ask questions.
Right.
But if they come at it with curiosity and they're willing to like learn from others,
Mm-hmm.
it just opens it up so much more.
Exactly. And I think that's a really big takeaway from Garcia's research, this idea that good teaching, good learning, really good communication in general, it's all about having this like shared exploration,
Totally.
discovering together.
So we've gone with Antonio Benitez Garcia from classrooms, like all the way in China to like our own experiences with learning and engagement.
That's right.
What a deep dive.
Right.
What's like the one thing you're taking away from all this? Anything that really resonated with you?
For me, it's this. Next time you're trying to get a message across, whether you're, teaching someone a new skill or even just like sharing an interesting article you read,
Right.
ask yourself, how can I make my audience like active participants?
Yeah.
How can I spark their curiosity and really empower them to engage?
That's a great question. And I think one we could all, think about a little more. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, keep those minds engaged. And remember, everyone has something to teach and everyone has something new to learn.